Hi everybody. So I get a lot of questions about room temperature for yoga practice. And what I'll have to say first is that room temperature is a personal preference and that everybody has a different temperature at which they feel comfortable. Obviously, women who are going through menopause have different temperature needs than people who are not, etc. But I think what this question usually is getting at is the use of a hot room or hot yoga practice for people with arthritis. And so I'll talk primarily about that. There are a few concerns that I have with hot yoga for people with arthritis. One of them is that when you're in a hot room, it gives you an artificial sense of flexibility. And for the inexperienced yogi who doesn't have a lot of awareness of their limits, they can tend to overstretch. And when people have hypermobility to start with, so people who are very flexible and loose, what they actually need is to build stability. And the tendency in hot class when feeling really limber is to stretch everything out without as much attention paid to appropriate limits and stabilization around the joint. Additionally, there are concerns about the health of a hot environment for people who are immune compromised. So when people have a systemic form of arthritis, they're often taking immune suppressing medications in order to ensure that their immune system is not attacking their joint tissue aggressively. Because of that, they're more susceptible to germs, things like the common cold, viruses, bacteria, etc. Those things tend to breed in a warm, moist environment where people are sweating excessively. Oftentimes those studios are carpeted and those microbes collect in the carpeting. The carpets and the padding need to be changed incredibly frequently because of that. Additionally, if the floor is not carpeted and it's wood, then there's a real risk of falling, which is a risk of injury, because if people aren't sweating into a carpet, they're sweating on the wood, because people's sweat in a hot room is not contained to their little mat. And because of that, you step off of the mat, you walk over to get your water bottle, you go to the bathroom, you go to leave class, and there's a possibility of stepping on a wet wood floor and slipping. So for all of these reasons, I don't recommend hot yoga per se for arthritis, which doesn't mean that the room can't be warm, because also cold temperatures tend to result in stiffness in the joints. And for some people, the cold is a real problem for their arthritis. In fact, I've known people with arthritis to move to warmer climates specifically for this reason. So keeping the room warm in order for it to be comfortable is reasonable. Going into a hot room where the temperatures are excessive is probably not wise.